Good morning, YouTubers. It is me, Rachel Dolly Hug, along with Batman. Batman says, good morning. How are you? We are fine. It is July 11th, 2019, and these are your morning announcements. This just in, I am trying to get out of my driveway. One of these days I'm actually going to learn how to drive this big old truck. What is that in the yard over here? I don't know. Some kind of animal. Oh, it's just a lion. It's fine. No, it's not! What am I seeing over there? What is going on in this neighborhood? So many weirdness things. Big old trailer in the middle of the road. Strange animals. Dressers hanging out on the side of the street. Is it the apocalypse? Hey, I want to give a shout out today to a bunch of people. I've been hanging out in, I think I've told you guys this, I've been hanging out in Lisa Free Spirit's room, and I've been hanging out in One Love's room when she's on. I've been trying to get to know all the people that hang out in these rooms as well. Going and watching their videos, commenting on them, just trying to get to know the people. And I gotta tell you, this group is such a great group of people. So positive, so spiritual, so people who lift you up instead of break you down. I love this group of people. I feel like God put me with this group of people right now in this moment in time because I absolutely needed it. You guys know that I've been struggling with negativity and anger about certain subjects, which will remain nameless, but if you go back in my videos, you'll figure it out. But man, I needed to find this group of people, and it's not that you guys aren't positive people, those of you who are not part of this group. It's just that spiritually, I needed people, I needed to fit into this group. Okay, I needed a group like this for this moment in time. Doesn't mean that the rest of you aren't awesome, because you are. You're fabulous people and I love you. I just needed this. You know how sometimes you just need a support group? This is my support group. This is the group of people that has been helping me get back into the positive zone, get back into the spiritual zone, just lifting me up and being just damn good friends. And I'm going to name off some names now, and if I don't mention your name and you're part of this group, please forgive me. As many of you know, I have Asperger's syndrome. I have a very difficult time remembering names. As soon as I see you in a room, though, I light up. So don't think that because I didn't mention your name that you're not thought of and loved, because you are. You really, really are. It's me. Asperger's is a challenge sometimes. If you hear my phone going off right now, it's because my lovely friend Katie Smith, who I adore, is sending me stickers and telling me things. Katie, I promise you I'll get back to you in just a minute, as soon as I can pull over and look at that. But right now I want to name off some names to people who hang out in Lisa Free Spirits and One Love's room, who are people who have just touched my heart, and I just think you're awesome. Okay, starting with J-Dub, JD, or I'm sorry, J-Dub and DJ, Judith, San, Relly, Kim L, Jess Jones, Gloria D, Bonnie, Golden Moment, VK, and of course my good friend Katie Smith, who doesn't hang out in the room, but I love her very much, and she's another just amazing, positive person in my life. And of course Lisa Free Spirit and One Love. All of you guys are really, really awesome people. I care about you. You've become little angels in my life, and I just wanted you guys to know how deeply I appreciate your friendship. You guys are just great, great people. And I hope that we're friends for a long, long time. I really do believe that I needed this group right now. I mean, right now, I mean, speaking in tongues. Okay. On top of my personal issues that I've been going through, the world is just a crazy place right now. The world is crazy. Watching the news is really, really hard. And I know the temptation is there to just turn the news off because it's so depressing. Oh my gosh, one thing after another. It's just bad. Earthquakes, flooding in Louisiana, or maybe our first hurricane. Iran trying to capture another frickin' freighter. Thank God for the Brits, because they were able to put the kibosh on that. Things with North Korea, Trump, everything. There's just so much. And it's coming at us. Rapid fire. Did you notice that? It's like the speed at which information is coming at us seems to be increasing and increasing and increasing. And it's overwhelming, which is what makes it so tempting to just turn the news off. But right now we can't do that. We gotta stay up on what's happening in the world. If you, and I'm not saying this to be negative, I'm saying this to be informative. If you want to survive the things that are to come, because this isn't going to get better, it's just going to get worse, I'm afraid to say. You've got to be able to remain positive. And even if you can't remain positive, you got to get into you know how you have muscle memory? Well, I think you have spiritual muscle memory too, and it takes a great amount of muscle, spiritual muscle, to be able to power through bad times and stay positive enough to stay objective. And that is the important thing. I'm not talking about you need to be, oh, everything's great and lovely and my life is amazing and I just got everything I ever wanted. I don't need anything. You don't have to be like that, okay? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You just got to be able to keep the glass half full enough to be able to look at life objectively and see all sides of things before you make decisions. And if you put yourself constantly into a dark place, if you allow yourself to sink into those dark places, in those dark places the sun doesn't get there. So when you're in a dark place, you don't see all the evil that's lurking in the shadows, and that comes back to bite you. So you need to stay in the light, and this is how I do it. I mean, I'm not saying that this is what you guys should do. I'm just telling you what I do to try to keep myself positive, because if I don't keep myself positive, every time in my life where I've really messed up, it's happened because I've had a knee-jerk reaction to something. And I still do this. Everybody does it. It's a human thing to do. But I try to be cognizant of the fact that I have this issue, that I have this problem, because I'm a very, very passionate person, if you haven't figured that out already. I am passionately happy, and I'm passionately angry, and I'm passionately hungry, and I'm passionately needing beer. I passionately need everything and do everything. So to keep that quelled, to keep that like pushed down enough where I can remain objective, I have to spend a lot of time in prayer. And I do. I talk to God about everything. I'm quite sure that every time I say, Father God, please, he's just like, oh, this woman. Oh, this woman. Here she is again. Blowing up my spiritual phone. But I do. I pray about everything. even the stupidest things I pray about. I put God in the center of every one of my decisions. I ask God for guidance in everything that I do, that could affect anyone other than me, you know? And God's been good to me. God has always put me on the path that I need to be on. It might not be the path that I want in the moment, but it's the path that I need to be on, and usually it's always revealed to me. Like, I'll have that aha moment, like, okay, God, now I understand why you put me on this path, you know? And, yeah. So, I would say, you know, if you guys don't do it already, spend some time in prayer. Now, if you're an atheist, I don't know what you can do. You're going to have to go talk to somebody else about that, because that ain't me. And I'm not going to pretend that I understand what it is to be an atheist, because I am not an atheist, not even close to being an atheist. And I have no qualms with you guys who are atheists. You can believe whatever you want, but this is what I believe, and this is what's good for me, okay? Whatever you got to do to be good for you, then you just do that. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you what to do. And I'm certainly not going to bash you. You just be you. You do you, okay? This is what I do, okay? And this is what I believe for me, is that there is a God who loves us and who wants us to be happy. Why else would he put beer and marijuana on this planet? That's all I'm saying. So, I spend a lot of time in prayer. And I also practice something. I used to be a heavy student in Zen Buddhism, and something that I learned in Zen that I carry with me, and I will always carry with me because I think it's just a marvelous practice, is the practice of stopping your monkey mind from taking control of you. It's really, really super easy to give into your monkey mind. And that's when, like, things just start spiraling out of control, you know, like where you're thinking about the day ahead, and you're thinking about what might happen, and then in your head you're flowcharting out, well, if this happens, then this will happen. Or if this happens, this will happen. But if this happens, then this will happen. And then, oh my God, the whole world is going to end in a big giant fireball. That's monkey mind. That is suffering that we cause ourselves to have because we do not have a grip on how we allow our minds to think. So when I feel my brain starting to spin out of control, when I feel myself doing that, and I think it's very human to do that, but when I feel myself doing that, I clap my hands very hard. I go, and I say, "Kats!" which means stop in Korean, or something to that effect. So you say, "Kats!" and you just stop it. You stop that mental monkey mind going crazy, throwing coconuts around in your brain, and you take a deep breath. You breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in, you breathe out, and you just stop and you breathe normally through your nose. You close your eyes, you fold your hands, and you sit for a second just quietly and breathe. Just breathe, like Luke Skywalker said. Just breathe. Then you say a prayer, and you ask God to guide you. You ask God to help you keep that monkey mind out in control. And then you stop and you let it go. You just drop it. You don't think about it anymore. You just go on with your business and go on to your next task in the day. And that's how I stop myself from letting that monkey mind get out of control. And I've been doing that for 10 years now, and it is a really good way of stopping yourself from going into a dark place if you don't have some sort of medical depression where, because I do suffer from seasonal depression, and sometimes when my seasonal depression kicks in, that isn't as easy as it seems. That doesn't always cure it for me, Sometimes I realize, okay, I am seriously lacking some vitamin D here, and that's another thing I recommend. Take vitamin D. I take D3, 500 IU, or 5,000 IU every day, and that has been so helpful. It has been like great in giving me energy. It helps to improve my positive mental attitude, especially during the wintertime when it's so dark here in Wisconsin. Yeah, you betcha, don't you know? And what else do I do? Sometimes it does mean just turning off the TV and turning off the radio and turning off my phone and turning off the computer and just doing something where I can focus on one thing and one thing only, just to get me back in a good headspace, like reading a book, reading the Bible, drawing, listening to music. Just something where I'm focusing on one thing and one thing only for a short period of time. I don't let myself stay in that, because it's easy to get addicted to. Look at this guy driving all over the road. You cannot take up 2 lanes. You can only have one. It's easy to get addicted to closing yourself off from the world. That's why a lot of people, when they're depressed, they'll sleep a lot, It's just their way of kind of closing themselves away from the world. At least that's how it was for me in my type of depression. But so you gotta push yourself to get into the world and do in the world, But man, I can't say enough about vitamin D3. I also take CBD oil. I take full spectrum CBD oil. That's been extremely helpful with all different kinds of things, from pain and anxiety, depression, energy levels. If it's a placebo, well, it works. It's a really good one. But I really think it's truly helping me, and I can't recommend it enough. I take the full spectrum. There's broad spectrum as well. Broad spectrum does not have any trace of THC in it, whereas full spectrum does have a small legal trace of THC in it. If you're in a position where you get drug tested often, I would not recommend using full spectrum. I'd say go with the broad spectrum, just to be on the safe side. Even though it is a legal amount, it does show up on a drug test. So go with the broad spectrum. Both have the CBD in it that is helpful for you, so I can't recommend that enough. And it's really helped with my joint pain. I had some serious joint pain, and that is gone. The joint inflammation has gone away, which is amazing. I also want to say one more thing. I've had this reoccurring vision. I'm not clairvoyant. Let me put that out there right now. I think I'm intuitive. I think I'm in touch with the human collective sometimes. So maybe I am clairvoyant. Maybe I am clairvoyant to a certain degree, but I'm not seeing visions of the future per se, or talking to, well, no, I do talk to dead people, so I can't say that either. Occasionally. That's so sorry. I don't want to get into that. Anyways, well, I'm not going to edit this video, but let's just put it this way. I have seen some crazy things. You guys know this. I've told you about this on my channel. So I don't want to say that I'm a medium, though. I'm not a medium. I am not somebody who is like constantly connecting with spirit and getting messages and stuff like that. No, that does not happen to me. But I do have this reoccurring vision. And it's been happening probably since about 1985. 1985, 1986, somewhere in there. Somewhere in my senior year of high school. And that reoccurring vision is this. I see a bright light, like as bright as the sun, but not that color. It's more of a whitish, warm whitish color. It's saying yellow doesn't do it justice. That's not right. It's more of a white. How can I explain this? Iridescent. Iridescent would be a great, like opal. Like opal. You know how opal is kind of, it's white, but sometimes and it's warm, but you sometimes see flashes of different colors. You see like maybe just a little bit of blue, maybe a little bit of green, maybe a little bit of yellow, sometimes a little bit of orange, but never red. Just these kind of just a sheen of color. So you picture this orb like that, and then picture coming out of this orb in all different directions, little bits of tentacles, almost like a what am I trying to think of the word, like a sea urchin, but only if have you ever seen one of those koosh balls that have like the elasticy little tentacles sticking out of there, kind of like that, and these tentacles kind of rise up, and then one will fall, and then maybe another one will fall, and another one will fall. I'm not whipping you off, I'm sorry. And they just kind of like rise and fall out of this sphere of opulent color, these little tentacles just real slowly, just pulsating in and out. And I've come to the conclusion that this is a representation of souls being connected to a source. You know, like a tentacle rises up as a human life or a sentient being rises up, and it reaches a pinnacle and it starts to come back down again and eventually goes away. And then another one over here will reach out and do the same thing and then come back down and go away. And then one over here will come up. And I feel like I don't know if it's reincarnation. I mean, my first gut instinct was that it was reincarnation, like as one falls, another one rises, and that's the soul departing this skin bag and entering into another one. But I'm not sure that's the case. I don't want to put that out there that is what it is, because it could just be that a life reaches its pinnacle, it comes back down, returns to the source, and then another new life reaches out, but it's not necessarily this person's soul reconnecting with the source and going back out again. I don't know, okay? As a Christian, that is what our belief is, okay? I'm keeping my mind open because I'm more of a Christian mystic than I am a Christian in the true sense of, or you know, the common sense of the word. I'm more of a Christian mystic, but anyways, I have this vision quite a bit. I see this all the time. I'll just be sitting on the couch, like kind of like just staring off into space, and that'll just appear. And then I acknowledge it and it goes away. And this has been going on, like I said, since like 1985, 1986, somewhere there in my senior year of high school. So, all right, anyways, that's enough for today. I've gabbed long enough. Okay, well, you guys have a great day. I love you. Mwah. Like, share, and subscribe. Take care of one another. Be good to one another. Be kind to one another. Keep it positive. Pray, 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 pray. Okay? I love you guys. Mwah. Bye-bye.